Welcome to Target Tips and Tricks Christmas edition, December 5th. Today we're going to look at the meaning of relative triggers. So here we're looking at a very simple page in Target, supposed to be a main menu where we have triggers to three different analyses. And the trigger is, it's like a link. It's basically a reference to some other analysis, and they come in both relative and not relative types. So what's the difference? Well, if we look at this analysis here, the main page, then it's located in a folder called December 2022, a subfolder called World Cup 2022, and it's called main page. So this is the full path shared December 2022, World Cup 2022, and then main page. So if we make a trigger for something called countries, let's see where that's located. We go and here at the start page, we can see it's actually in the same folder as my main page. So a trigger from this one, from the main page to countries, well, it could contain the full path saying, please open up something in shared December 2022, World Cup 2022, called countries. That would be a non-relative trigger. We could also say, where is it compared to the main page? Well, it's actually in the same folder, so we just have to refer to countries, no more. And then it's sort of, the hidden meaning is, it's in the same folder. There was an analysis called clubs as well, also in the same folder. That would be the same. But what about this? There's a subfolder called Special Pages. Let's open it up. This is where the FAQ analysis is. So how does that work? Well, again, a relative trigger says, where is this page compared to me? So that trigger, when I put it on the main page, will just say, please look in the folder called Special Pages and find the one called FAQ. So again, not the full path. And the big advantage of this is that once we've built this small trigger system, we can move it. As long as we move it together, we can move it to another folder. We can rename this World Cup 2022 folder to something else, or for that matter, the December 2022 folder, because all the references, all the triggers, they don't include the full path. They just include the place where they are located compared to each other. So let's just quickly do this in practical terms so you can see what we're talking about. If we open up the menu here and we make the first trigger to the one called countries, just gonna have to scroll down a little bit to December 2022 to World Cup 2022, and we're going to make a trigger to countries. We'll make sure it doesn't inherit any criteria. It should just be a menu button, and we'll make it relative. So that makes a big difference because now it's just the trigger's just gonna say countries, no more than that. Same goes for the second button as we agreed. So we just have to navigate to the right folder here. Sorry, a little bit up. And find the one called clubs. And again, save criteria and relative link. So I can't really, to be honest, think of a situation where you don't want a relative link, because a relative link has a lot of advantages. It makes it more flexible. You could actually develop all this I'm developing here. I might as well have developed it in my personal folder. It wouldn't make a difference because only the relative triggers would work, and that would mean as long as I move it together. That's the key issue here. You have to move those analyses that are interlinked. You have to move them together, and then relative links, relative triggers will stay intact. So having remembered to tick that all the way, I now have a very simple main page, but still a working main page. And if I at some point should go and say, okay, I'm going to take those here, including the subfolder, move it to somewhere entirely different in the file system, everything will still be working. That's the meaning of relative triggers. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you tomorrow for the next Tips and Tricks Christmas edition. Bye bye.